All right, here is my patch breakdown for this current setup that I used for some of my January flavored modular jams. The first thing to start off with is what I did with the bass drum. This is a really awkward and roundabout way that I set this up, but it sounds like this. So with that, what I'm doing is my velocity track I have set on envelope mode. With my various things in here. Some of these are set to a bit longer of a delay to give us some of those bass hits on some of these. Other ones are more set on shorter delays to kind of give the more clicky sounds. That is being sent out of here and going to two different places. It's going into the CV control of my VCA here, and it's also going through attenuator 1 to turn the volume down a little bit of it, and then that is going to control the pitch of oscillator 2. So that one envelope is not only controlling the volume of the bass drum sound with those envelopes, but it's also controlling the pitch. But I've got that attenuated down a little bit because otherwise it's not a bass drum sound. So I've got kind of the options in there. I kind of had it dialed in right about there. So that then oscillator 2's signal then is being sent out and into the VCA, but also being mixed together with some envelopes of the pressure track, which is kind of the more clicky sounds. I just added some more envelopes. I'm not really sure that this did a huge amount, but this guy is set on envelope mode as well. And some of those clicking spots I have mixed in with the bass drum sound, just a little envelope that's not really meant to be audio, but it gives a little bit more of a click to the sound. Then all of that bass drum stuff is being sent out of the VCA straight into the external input up there, so it's always going when this is running. So that's the bass drum sound. The most complicated part, I tweaked with it a lot, and it might not be the best way to do it, but I don't know, it works. Everything else is a lot more straightforward. For my main melody, that's in my pitch and gate thing. It's only an 8-step melody. My last step is here on the 8th step. I've got the tied some of these notes tied together a little bit more. So tied together, and then some shorter gates and longer gates, and then again tied together to play that. On my C, D flat, G, C, D flat, F, low F. That's that bass part that keeps coming through with a few ratchets on step 4 here. A few ratchets on step 4 to make it do that repeat there. So that's the basic bass part. The next thing that's happening is I've got LFO2 hooked into the pulse width modulation. LFO2 is set there. It's set on a square wave with the sync. You've got it set so that it's kind of on these 8th notes that kind of give me these hits on the offbeats. So this is our main one here. And then this gives me these hits on the offbeats. Because this pulse width modulation turned up quite a bit, so it's giving a lot of that on the offbeats there with LFO2. Then the other cable thing that's happening over here is I've got the cutoff, just a dummy cable put in since I yoinked the attenuator 1 converter, or no, actually because of the fact that I was using the... Oh yeah, that's what it is. I was using attenuator 1 to turn the pitch down of what was controlling my bass drum pitch. The other unique thing that I do with the mini group, before I talk about what's happening up here with Platts, is I play a lot with having this self-oscillation of the filter. And I do that with a couple things. The resonance modulation is already normal to LFO1, which I have set on a square wave in tempo. And then as I turn that up, it will then bring this into self-oscillation when LFO1 is high. So we get this here. And I can play with the rhythm of that. Or I can play with the pitches that it plays by. So that's all with the filter actually coming up to, so this resonance is kind of turned down, not to the point of self-oscillation, but when this resonance gets modulated up by the square wave over here, it brings us up into self-oscillation and gives us those pitches that I can kind of tweak using either the frequency modulation knob or actually moving the ADSR, which is controlling the frequency modulation as well, to kind of give me a little bit of a melody there. Up here with Platts, it's of course being synced with the metronome from the Mini Brute. And then I've got 3 channels here that are all from the Varigate that are all controlling Platts. The main rhythm here is triggering. It's kind of, if you could see it, it's a strong hit on the first one, then lots of just kind of 50 or 40% hits until you get to the last 2 steps. Pitch-wise, what's happening here in the 3rd track is it's mostly all on the down, and then on either step 7 or 6 and 8 or 5 and 7, I can't quite remember, just a random by doing probability and then note. There's a change the probability of what note it's going to be in of those last couple steps, so we get some interesting things happening there. Let me unplug the bass drum, and then we'll hear that. So a couple ratcheting things in channel 2 as well, but you can hear mostly the low note, and then a couple probabilityed up notes near the end of each phrase. And then this one here, I'm running slowly through this 5-step filter that you can see is kind of building up. Oh, it didn't save right, so this last one wasn't the best thing. It's meant to be kind of slowly going up and down, controlling the timbre knob here. And this is set on the, I can't remember what that's called, but the one that kind of sounds like bell-like. So that's coming into my external here on my Mini Brute. So that's a breakdown of that patch, so that even if you don't care, I can remember if I want to remake this one as well, because I've had a lot of fun doing this one. So hope you enjoyed. See ya.